Hey guys, it's Does It Matter?
Ellen the Dream.
And this is episode 6 of our podcast, Confessions of a Stand Mixer edition. So last week we talked about our music video ranking from, 31 to 15. And so today we're going to finish up starting with number 14. I have Cannonball.
I have Reggaeton Lento.
All right, so here's the thing about Cannonball, guys. If Jesse had not left the group recently, it would be down there with Black Magic. But Jesse did leave the group recently, and I watched it this morning while trying to rank these, and it made me really, really sad and sentimental. Because in case you guys have not seen it, since it's a weird music video, it's not really a music video. It's like X Factor's compilation to the audio of Cannonball. It's like a change your life, nothing else matters type of a feel. And I was watching it and it just kept showing all the black and white scenes of them on X Factor's Little Fetus Little Mix. And I was looking at the date it was posted in 2011, and I was feeling like, oh my God, we're never going to have an OT4 again. This was their beginning. Basically, guys, it got me really hard in the feels when Jesse left, and it just drove it home. And so it's at number 14. But if they were still a foursome, that thing would be down there with Black Magic, and that's all I have.
I feel bad for ranking it so low now.
I think if I hadn't watched it again this morning to like refresh myself of what it was, I probably would have just ranked it really low. But because I watched it this morning, I was like, wait.
For Reggaeton Lento, I really enjoy that video. I think the energy is really fun. I like the whole aesthetic of it all. I just wish that CNCO was there with them because I feel like they could have done some really cool shots like mixed in together instead of it being two separate clips but in the same background. Yeah, that's really the only thing I have about that. I just wish it was together because I feel like they could have done some really cool stuff.
Since my number 13 is Reggaeton Lento, I will respond to you. It never actually really bothered me that they weren't in the same place. I know that a lot of people comment on that, but for whatever reason, I never really cared much. I'm not opposed to if they had been in the same place, that would have been cool. But it never bothered me. For me, it's just like in the club type of music videos are not really something I tend to enjoy that much. And it really like it is as beautiful as the girls look. It really is just like them oiled up, sitting there pretending to stare across the room at men. So they do some phenomenal acting. The wardrobe choices are great, but at the end of the day, like it is like a super oversaturated club scene that doesn't really have any movement or dancing, and it's just like a really oiled up, like sexy vibe to it, which I don't dislike, obviously, because it's pretty high up there. But um, I just it's something like special to me.
Mm. So my 13 is Touch, and I was kind of hoping it was going to have the same aesthetic feeling as Shout Out to My Ex did, which it kind of did, as in like coloring wise, but
Yes, shout out to my ex. Also had the Easter pastels.
um I just wish it had it was just more like it was similar to that because I really liked that video, and the whole maze thing kind of confused me with the song, but I liked all the dancing in it. I just wish there was even more like group dancing because I feel like they could have done a lot of more group dance breaks than just the one at the end. I know it's kind of like low, even though a lot of people like it a lot, but
Didn't I rank that like 10 songs ago?
yeah.
I think if anyone's getting hate for the position of Touch, it'll be me.
Yeah, I liked it. I just wish there was like a little bit more, which is like kind of reaching for like nothing, but that's just like a personal opinion.
I mean, we're getting up to like top 15, top 10.
Yeah, these like all these ones right here are pretty similar. Like they're not far off
Yeah, these were all like these were pretty good. You know what I mean?
in the same category.
Yeah. Again, guys, we're hitting like that top area where it's all just kind of you can move them up a few places up or down. It doesn't really make much of a difference.
Yeah,
At number 12, I have Strip.
I have hair.
Like you said, Strip is very monotonous, shot on one stage. It is black and white. It does look like a Hanes commercial. But I do, and I mean, if you guys listen to the podcast about our favorite things, you'll recall me saying that some of my favorite tours are not the huge production ones. It's like the Dangerous Woman tour, the Summer Shoutout tour. And the reason is that I like seeing the girls in less choreographed positions with their natural charisma and friendship taking the stage. And so while Strip is a little repetitive and monotonous and literally black and white, the entire music video is just their natural charisma and their friendship and their friends and family. So even though it's not like the most entertaining thing to watch, it still has a dear place in my heart because I just really like that side of them.
So hair. I really like that video actually. I like the whole sleepover idea and you can see their friendship a lot in that and I like the whole just theme of it really.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Was every Get Weird music video a rom-com movie?
I think it was. I could
All right,
see
that's all I have to say.
it. um yeah, so hair, I really like the whole sleepover idea and just their friendship in general in the video. I could have done without the Sean Paul part, but I know that that was like an important part of the story, so he kind of had to be in there. But I feel like that kind of like threw off the whole like sisterly thing because he kept popping in there. um, but yeah, I really like that video though. It's a fun one to watch.
My number 11 is Holiday.
Mine is No More Sad Songs.
Holiday is at number 11 for me because, and it honestly kind of has risen a bit since it first came out. Like, I wouldn't have ranked it this high when it initially came out, I don't think. But this is like less of a logical reasoning and more of like a gut feeling for this ranking, which is that there are a lot of things I actively don't like about the holiday music video or that I thought could have been improved and would have improved the quality of the video a lot more. But to be completely frank with you guys, that little hallway thing, that hallway strip that they're walking up and down, that is absolutely just like four slates or like, I mean, maybe there's seven, but like there's just like slates just up pretending for it to be a hallway. And uh, that makes the entire music video for me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I just the aesthetic of that, the way they used it, like, it's a really like, that could have been a super boring set, but the way they used it was actually so interesting. There's, like, some of the only choreography is actually in that hallway. The outfits in that hallway that they chose to wear, I think, were the best ones of the entire video. I love the aesthetic of it, the coloring. I thought it matched the song vibe well. So I'm this is, like, not, like, a logical one because I definitely probably disliked more than I liked about the video, but I just really like that hallway.
Yeah, I really like that part.
Yeah, my constructive critique of the holiday one is, because I do actually have that, is, the special effects were cool, but they, like, didn't follow through all the way, like, when they're, um, mermaids in the water, they're moving their arms around. The girls aren't doing a super great job of acting like their arms are actually in water, but also, like, they could have animated that to look better, like there was actually water moving, and instead it they didn't, and so it doesn't look like that, and it just feels a little weird. I will say probably why I would have ranked it lower when it first came out, now that I'm talking about mermaids, is I had high hopes for the mermaid concept, and boy was it a letdown. I thought like the majority of the concept was going to be mermaids. And the majority of the concept was something I didn't even know until they posted on YouTube that it was a spa on Mars. So, yeah, so concept wise, it was very let down because I was led to believe mermaids would be the stars of the music video. But I have obviously gotten over that for the most part. and uh, And then, yeah, some of the green screen looked funky, which, there wasn't like too much that could have been done about it since it was, right out of COVID lockdown for the first time. So, I think for what they were working with, they did a great job. But some of it was weird. Like the the girls didn't actually social distance on the set. I don't know if that's taboo to say. I don't know if someone's gonna get mad at me, but they didn't. um, they're not 6 feet apart or whatever. It's 6 feet in America. I don't know what exactly it is in meters in the UK, or not just the UK, but everywhere else in the world. Um, they're not 6 feet apart when they're mermaids. They're not 6 feet apart when they're in the hallway. The only thing they're socially distanced and like imposed together on is the weird green screen where they're posing and they're far away from each other. uh, they're superimposed there. It looks a little funky. It's the only time, if I remember correctly, are those shots. The rest of the time, they're not social distancing from each other, which I'm not like trying to drag them for. I assume that they were all careful and actually followed lockdown rules, and therefore would have been fine to interact with each other and tested negative and all of that. And obviously, crew was taking the required precautions. And I honestly, I think it's weird if we thought they were going to social distance from each other. Like they're honestly should be their own bubble. I know they're not their own bubble, like they haven't officially done that, but I think they should have done that. But yeah, so I just, for the sake of the fact that they didn't actually superimpose them that much and the girls were actually closer together, I just would have liked to see a bit more interaction between them and maybe a little bit more choreography. I know it couldn't have been a lot of choreography because it would be difficult to learn it separately from home, but just something like a little bit more, maybe like with formations or even just like a little bit more of what they were doing in the hallway. Yeah, so it's up at number 11 simply because I just really, really like the hallway, guys.
Okay. No More Sad Songs originally was a lot higher on my ranking, but it switched with a few other ones, which I am slightly kind of regretting now, but it's fine. Originally, the song was a lot higher up, or this video was a lot higher up, but these few songs that, like, I keep saying songs, these few videos that I'm ranking right here are very close together. Like, I can't really choose between them, but for No More Sad Songs, personally, in general, I'm not a fan of that whole, like, country bar look, and that's just like a me thing. I'm not a fan of that whole idea, but it's definitely grown on me, and I do really enjoy the video besides that because it just is like it just looks like a lot of fun, which I know I'm saying that about a lot of my rankings, but it does. So that's kind of why it's there.
Yeah, I agree. No More Sad Songs is my number 10. I think they were kind of restricted a bit by the fact that I think they were in Nashville, or they were around Nashville on the Dangerous Woman tour when they were filming it. And so they were a bit restricted on what exactly you could do in a day while on someone else's tour in a foreign country in the middle of Brit rehearsals.
Yeah.
So normally I would kind of be really put off by the concept of that song, not the song, the video of like the Western South walk into a bar saloon type of a feel. But taking into consideration like why that's the choice it is, I can kind of give them a pass on that. The girls look good. The girls are having fun. Like it does look like they're just legitimately having fun from, being like watching the bull to being on the pool table. I have a feeling that a lot of the moments we see might be some improv or a little bit more relaxed. Like the director might have just said, like, go play pool, and instead of like strictly choreographing what was supposed to happen next, which I think probably, if I'm right, would have played into like more carefree vibe. And then also I liked the fact that you could kind of see that they were friends with their dancers in No More Sad Songs, which normally you can't really tell in the other videos because when the dancers are there, it's for choreography. But in No More Sad Songs, they were there as like extras. So it was just cool to kind of be like, wait a second, like I know who that is. Like, and then just see the girls like hanging out with them and having fun. It does remind me of Coyote Ugly, which I think was intentional. I think someone said that that was part of the inspiration for the music video. And I do like the movie Coyote Ugly. So the fact that it has like that vibe to it does make me like it a bit more than I otherwise would for that specific concept.
So at number 10, I have Black Magic, which I can't tell is an unpopular opinion, but I really liked how there was a story because if you can't tell already, I am a sucker for like a story, um, just because it gives me something to follow. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and just production wise, it was really high up. So for me, this video is high up on my ranking just solely for the fact that it had a lot of production, like a big budget, and it was just like well thought out. I'm a fan of like the big budget videos, and I think this was one of them for me. So yeah.
It's interesting. As you're talking about it, I'm like, I think it matters more to me, or I prefer more that a song tells a story rather than like a music video.
Oh really?
Yeah, like I think I'm much more lax on the idea of like a music video having a story than I am on a song. I'd rather the song has a story, even if the music video doesn't uh, visually decide to portray it. Like just in music in general, I'd rather have the lyrics tell a story, and then I don't really care if the music video uh, executes it exactly that way.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why I do. I've just noticed like when I was ranking these, I noticed that like the ones that had a set in stone like storyline for some reason made it up higher.
I mean, it definitely makes them. I do enjoy like following them, and I think maybe if all of their storytelling ones weren't from the Get Weird era, maybe they would be higher. Uh, not because I don't like those songs, but because those songs result in like Disney rom com storylines, which I don't, which is what I'm not a fan of. So you know, if for example we had been getting a storyline with touch or um, power or sweet melody, or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
I would have probably liked those better depending on what the concept was, what the story was, but yeah, so it's interesting that we have kind of different takes on that.
Yeah.
All right, number 9, I have Woman Like Me.
I have power.
Woman Like Me, aesthetic was more to my liking. Really, what's giving it such a high position is the chair choreography that I would still like unedited footage of in a wide shot format. I think that the music video had a lot of like little Easter eggs in it that gave the song more meaning that you wouldn't necessarily get from the song on its own, which is nice. That said, it's not necessarily my favorite concept that they've ever done. But between the chair choreography, the general aesthetic being more pleasing to me than some of the others, and that the video was used to make the song more meaningful, it ranks it up higher for me.
So with power, I really liked all of their like individual shots and like the different concepts that each of them had. I thought that was really cool, and they all like even though they were very different from each other, they all tied in well in my opinion. So even though it was they were all separate, it still worked together. And I like the whole like girl power theme that they had with like their moms in it and when they were all in that big group. Um it's just kind of the same thing that I've said about the other videos. I just wish it had a little bit more choreographed dancing, not so much their individual stuff, because I'm used to seeing them perform it. So like not seeing heavy choreo with it is like weird for me. But overall, the video was really nice and I really liked it.
Number 8, I have Shout Out to My Ex.
I have Bounce Back.
Shout Out to My Ex being filmed in a desert is put me off a bit initially. And the aesthetic, again, those like light pastel colors. I'm not an Easter person. And it's got nothing to do with Easter, guys. I just don't really like pastels and light bright colors. And I also, for some reason, I think I watched Shout Out to My Ex before I was actually standing Little Mix. I saw it prior to. Don't ask me when or why. I couldn't tell you. And I remember, I think, being a little disappointed with it. Um, I just like wanted more from it. I thought there would be more to it than them just like hanging out. Um, and then not even necessarily choreography. I just, as someone who didn't really know much about them, I just was expecting something else. I don't even know what it was. And then when I watched it again as a once I came back and I was like standing them and I watched it again, I had a much better appreciation for it because the entire video is Little Mix being best friends in the desert. um, so That makes me have a much greater appreciation for it. Also, some of the shots are just really beautiful, like the purple trees. Like, I might not be a fan necessarily of the colors, but like it's still a really beautiful shot. The ending shots of them all together is really beautiful. The director who like advised them to do a lot of small physical things to show their friendship, I think was really a nice touch, like them holding hands at the end, them like not necessarily at the end when they're holding their hands up, but just like when they're walking together, when they do the hug, like there's just when they're on the pillows, like the lay beds, day beds, whatever they're called. There's just like a lot of like small comfortable physical intimacies between friends that are happening, and they could be entirely on Little Mix's like stance, but my guess is that the director probably encouraged that, and it does really make it feel very authentic and genuine, and like they are best friends. And so coming back and watching it for a second time as a mixer and not as a random person, I had a much greater appreciation for the music video.
Yeah, it's just like so sweet that video.
Yeah, it's really wholesome.
Yeah. So, Bounce Back. I really liked that whole aesthetic personally. I think that it fit in well with their costuming, like all the separate scenes that they had. It all was very cohesive to me, and it had a very over the top vibe, which I seem to like. I also liked the dance break at the end. I liked the whole blue theme too, because that's like my favorite section. I think just because I really liked the whole coloring happening there. Um,
Yeah, that would be my favorite part of the whole thing.
yeah, and I think it also just gave me kind of a new perspective of the song when they were being more like dolls, because I never thought of it that way. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, it just kind of made me see the song like in a different way than how I had originally seen it. So yeah.
I have mixed feelings about Bounce Back. Um, I mean, eh, here's the thing, guys. I think I've listened and read. I've listened and read to the original demo version Normani did, or I think it was her vocals. I know she wrote on it, and as I think based on the research I did at the time, and it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure she actually grew up for at least a number of years in New Orleans, which if you guys don't know, bounce music is it's from New Orleans. Its history comes from like a type of music from the African American community and the housing projects. I'm forgetting one time, I think maybe the 70s. Don't hold me to that. I don't remember exactly. And if you look at the original lyrics, there are references to New Orleans, there are references to that culture that Little Mix, specifically Jesse's verse, that Little Mix, I don't know if it was them themselves, but when they got the song, uh, they were written out. And actually, Jesse's very sexual portion of the song is only there to get rid of the lyrics that related to Black culture and actual New Orleans. So they took a form of music from African American culture and erased the lyrics that actually gave credit and referenced that culture. And then the music video had nothing to do with that. And on one hand, none of them really have any standing to be, you know, like dedicating an entire music video to participating in Black culture. Like that would be very inappropriate. Even leigh-anne, because she's not African American, which specifically is where the song comes from. I shouldn't even really be saying African American because not every Black person at that time was necessarily from Africa, but the Black community in America. Yeah, so and then the chorus is, or I don't even know if it's the actual chorus, but the sample part of it is, I'm pretty sure, from a Black group. So I don't know. I have some weird cultural feelings about the song and the music video and the way it was all handled and the lyrics and all of that. So it taints some bounce back a little bit for me, like the music video.
I didn't know all that. Wow. I'll have to do research on that. 'Cause now I'm
Not to
interested.
ruin it for anyone.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, so I just think that the song in general, and then also the music video toes a cultural appropriation line for me that I'm not entirely comfortable with. Uh, because the other thing too is bounce music bounce music is very specific to New Orleans and to artists that are there, and they never blow up or get recognition for the music that happens there. So for Little Mix to not Little Mix themselves, because it was written by people who had connections to New Orleans, but for Little Mix to then accept the song, take that style of music without giving any type of like credit or homage or acknowledging that they've taken that style of music and then to turn it into a pop song to release just for the fun of it, like I just I have weird feelings about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. Huh.
All right, back on track. My number 7, which is the one I think we're at, is Change Your Life.
Mine's Woman Like Me.
Change Your Life is at 7 for me because okay, so here's the thing. I'm a super hypocrite technically, right? Because I got mad at Wasabi for being super unstructured and a bunch of like tour diary scenes and all of that. And I'm about to be a hypocrite again because my next one, spoiler, is Nothing Else Matters at number 6. But and I'm also a bit of a hypocrite because I told you that if Jesse hadn't left Little Mix, Cannonball would be at the bottom with Wasabi. Here's why. Here's the difference. Change Your Life and Nothing Else Matters are just better done. Their concepts are almost the same, but they are executed better than Wasabi and What I've Been Missing and Cannonball to be completely frank. Guys, like the Cannonball one is only up there because of the feelings. It really is down there with Wasabi. And they're better shot. The coloring on it is consistent. The concepts, the incorporation of like the concerts as well as the backstage feelings. They're honestly better versions of Wasabi, and they're what I had hoped for when we were going to get Wasabi. I didn't expect, like Black Magic or Power or Holiday from Wasabi. I expected Change Your Life or Nothing Else Matters, and Wasabi fell very, very flat. And so I'm not like getting on Wasabi because they didn't have a huge budget for it. My issue with Wasabi is that it wasn't executed well. And Change Your Life and Nothing Else Matters were. And I like behind the scenes moments. I like seeing them. I like that it captures a moment in time of their journey and their career and their life. So I like the music videos. I think they're fun to watch. I think they're really nice to reminisce on. And if Wasabi had been executed better, then I would have put it up there with these ones.
Okay, so with Woman Like Me, I I'm trying to like figure out how to say this. Um Overall, I really enjoyed the video. Um I liked what they did with it and how they had the whole them rebelling against like standards and stuff. I thought that was really cool. There was some choices that I wouldn't have made, but overall it was really nice and I liked how they filmed in like a truck and not really a truck, like a van and outside. And there was a lot of different locations, even though it was like all in the same place, it was all different. So it gave like a wide variety of what we were watching. I really liked the choreography that we had, even though we didn't see as much of the chair choreography as I would have liked to have seen. I liked what we had. um yeah, overall, I think it was just like a really cool concept what they did with it. So I really like that.
I already kind of explained it, guys. My number 6 is Nothing Else Matters. Uh, it is same logic applies from Change Your Life to Nothing Else Matters. So, what about you? What's your 6?
I have Salute. I really, really, really like this music video. It kind of hurt to place it at number 6 and not any higher, but it is what it is. um, I just, I just love this video. I love like the intense like choreography. I love the editing. I love the camera angles. I love the costume, like the whole dark theme. I just 100% fan. I really like that video.
Um, I am waiting to make a judgment till I have reached it.
Oh no.
No, it's positive. Okay,
Oh god.
my number 5 is More Than Words.
Mine is Secret Love Song.
I don't really like the studio audio of More Than Words, to be honest. I prefer the live arrangement, but as far as music videos go, I'm living for that aesthetic. Like you said previously, it is fairly monotonous in the sense that there aren't any other scenes, but it's one of the few videos of theirs that has an aesthetic I really like, and so I cling on to the ones that do.
Yeah, the rain thing was also just really cool. Like,
The rain thing is cool. The like shadows, the lighting, the like again, it's got a little bit of that like black and white. It's not a noir feel, but it has like a similar look to it. It's not the same by any means, but it has a similar look to it.
yeah, and it was really different than what they normally do, so it was nice to see that. So, Secret Love Song is pretty high for me because I really enjoy sad music videos. And I know that this isn't technically like a slow, I mean, like it is slow, but it's not like a slow, sad song. But just, I love that part of London in general. So when I saw that the video was there, it made me like it a lot more. The only thing that I don't like about that video is Jason Derulo's part because he's like jumping around on the wall while they're crying and it just doesn't really make sense. But it's just I just really like the whole look of that video. Even though it's just really them walking and like lip singing, it's just I don't know what about it. I just really like that.
It's really emotional, you know. They're good actresses, so.
Yeah.
Um my number 4 is okay, here's the thing, guys. No, okay. Sweet Melody is my number 4.
My number 4 is Change Your Life.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you get to these top 4, there's not really a set position. So Melody probably is actually fourth, and it's probably the top 3 that move around the most. But Sweet Melody is like securely at number 4 with potential to make its way to a point in time where it moves around with the other top 3. So um, it's number 4. It's dark. It's gritty. We have choreography. Reminds me a little bit of Salute, and I mean, really, it's got that darker aesthetic that I like. What more could I want?
Right? That's what I'm gonna say. Change Your Life, I that video holds like a special place in my heart. I swear. Um it's just so like nice and sweet. And I love seeing all like the behind the scenes moments. What I like about that was different from the other videos that were similar to that is that it went between the behind the scenes moments and then them singing with the microphones. So I think that flow together really well for me and it's just overall just a really nice little heartwarming video because you can just see like the little moments of their friendship and all their interactions. I wish I could put it higher, but it's sticking right at number 4.
All right, number 3 for me is I think it's Power. Right now, in this exact moment, it's Power.
Yeah, I have shout out to my ex, which I just moved like while we were talking earlier.
0.4 seconds ago.
Maybe.
Power does have color editing that I don't particularly like, specifically everyone but Jade's part. Um, However, I really like the individual scenes. The music video brings a ton more meaning to the song that it brings a meaning to the song that does not exist in just the audio version, which I really appreciate. It's also just super really nicely done. Like it was directed well. Like the details are really great in the like set production and stuff. Like on the van that Perry's in front of, there's a McCarthy for President sticker, which gives you the like 70s time zone of that Perry's kind of being placed in, which then and even like Perry's scene, I don't like her color aesthetic, but her scene is actually color edited to have like that 70s look. I don't help me, like the 70s movies when they do like that hippie vibe, it's actually color edited to mimic that, and that's not in the other scenes.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that like cinematic look.
It's a very stylistic, intentional choice. So even though I don't like the way it looks, I can appreciate the choice and I can appreciate the detail in that. And then same with Jade's, like her backgrounds, like is very rainbow themed, and there are lots of the touches of the primary colors everywhere in her scene. It's not just her outfits are like the rainbow sign. So I can really appreciate like the details that are in it, and the kind of car theme that was in there, the automobile theme. It was really kind of, I think, clever to include that in the video since the sounds are so apparent in the song and the lyrics. So, like, they weren't a huge presence, but like there's two cars, a motorcycle, like a motorcycle that actually drives past, and there's Jesse standing in a whole bunch of them. Um, they really went for that kind of incorporated that into it, and then of course, there's just the message in general that they're making, and then the kind of protest into the street with the signs, and their mom is being there, I think is all very nice and wholesome. And whoever directed it, I'm forgetting her name. It's a woman, Hannah something maybe. She works with Ariana Grande a lot. I can't remember her name, but she did a great job directing it.
Yeah, that video reminds me a lot of Bang Bang with Jessie J, Ariana, and Nicki Minaj
Oh
too.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I haven't really seen that one in a while, but from when I do remember it, I see the comparison.
Yeah, and I really like that video too, so that
I
sold
wonder if it was
me.
the same person. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So shout out to my ex. I really enjoy the overall aesthetic of it. I like how they added like the purple in the trees, and like they did those small details that they hadn't really done in the past. I thought that was really cool. And the amount of like scenes that had their friendship in it was really nice. You could really see throughout all the different interactions that they did how genuinely good friends they are. Um, so that tied into like just the whole video really well. I liked how they had, this is kind of similar to what I just said, but like they had like these scenes where they weren't directed, like when Leigh-Anne and Perry were like throwing food or something.
Yes, that's what I mean, is that, like, the director
Yeah,
really just let them, like, was literally like, "Go be friends."
yeah,
Like,
like it was nice to see that. And it wasn't like direct, like, well, it might have been directed, but it wasn't like
they
specifically.
didn't, like, choreograph, like, "Be friends this way." They were like, "You seem like friends, go be friends, I'll record you."
Yeah, like it just made it really nice, and I think it just flowed a lot better um than like some other things that would have happened if it was so strictly like choreographed. But since it was more free, I think that was really nice. And just, yeah, I just really liked that whole overall look. I think it did a nice job.
And I just looked it up, and the director who did Power did do Bang Bang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense because they are pretty
Mhm.
similar, like location wise.
At number 2, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm thinking the same thing right now. I don't know if I want to move it or not.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been kind of debating about moving number 2 to number 1 this entire time we've been talking,
Same.
which you guys will see a very condensed version, but we've been talking for almost 2 hours, like recording for almost 2 hours. So I've spent almost 2 hours debating about whether or not I wanted to switch 1 and 2. And now
Mhm.
we have reached the moment where I decide. And
I'm doing it.
I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to do it. Okay, guys, it's not like a hard set in concrete situation, but right now, I'm moving it.
I just
So,
did. I did it.
all right, with that decision made and sticking to it, my number 2 is Salute.
My number 2 is Sweet Melody.
Um, okay, so Salute. Dark, gritty, sexy, choreography for days, empowering. There's not really anything to dislike about it if you want to ignore Perry's hair.
Sweet Melody reminds me a lot of Salute, which I really, really like. So that already like bumped it up for me. The editing was just really good. The whole choreography was good. Their outfits were good. I think just overall it was just a really good video. Like it was one of those videos that I watched where immediately, without even finishing it, I was like, this is one of my favorites. And it still hasn't like fallen from that. So, which happens a lot because it like once that like new feeling kind of wears off, they'll start to drop down. But this one hasn't yet.
I'm waiting for our first music video with OT3
Mm.
because I have a feeling that when we get the first music video without Jesse, Sweet Melody will rocket to the top.
Yeah, probably.
Jesse leaving has not affected its ranking yet for me, but I bet you once it sinks in for me, like reality hits, that it's the last music video we'll ever get with the four of them. I bet you that thing skyrockets.
Yeah, same.
Not that it really has that far to go. It's at number 4, but like
Yeah.
I bet you that it's going to get a very big boost from the reality setting in that Jesse will never be in another Little Mix music video again.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah.
All right, so then that makes my number 1 Move.
Mine too.
Were we both about to put it at number 2 and then move
Yeah.
it to number 1?
I've been staring at it for like 2 hours, like, ugh.
Guys, when I'm telling you that I did not know how well some of our like opinions meshed up when I asked if she wanted to do this podcast with me, like it is weird how in sync sometimes.
It's scary. Like some of it's like exactly the same.
Honestly. And like I promise you guys, like we do not base these answers around each other.
No.
Anyway, my move is number 1. My move. Move is number 1. Um Here's the thing, I just never get tired of watching it.
It's so good.
It's aesthetically so pleasing, the choreography I really like. There is, like, the editing choice in the choreography that I wish it wasn't, quite so, like I wish it hung on wide shots a little bit longer just so we could see more of the choreography. But, like, it just the coloring is nice, the outfits are on point, they all look great, they look like they're comfortable in front of the camera. I never get tired of watching it. Even though the sets are essentially there's really only, like, 2 sets. I mean, there's, like, 1 stage and then there's, like, 2 sets. But like, you don't notice, like, it's so well directed and edited that you don't get, like, that monotonous, repetitive vibe from it, or at least I don't, and it looks like they're having fun, and I don't know, guys, it's one I don't get tired of, like, I could just watch that one over and over again, and I can't say that about most of the other ones we've just listed.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about this video. Like honestly, it's just so good. Like it's just so much fun to watch. I love like all the decisions they've made to do like kind of that like flashy feel to it is really
Mm,
cool. And just how it syncs up, like the editing syncs up with the music and it's very fast paced, I really like. Um their costuming,
and,
even
like,
though
it's so simple and clean.
yeah, like it's just
That's such a nice aesthetic.
it's just so pleasing.
And, like, the white and the gold and the blues and the black, like, those color like, that, like, color palette too.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And it gives like a nice even like mixture of both. So we get like the really bright parts and then it'll go like dark, but then it'll go back to bright and it doesn't look out of place.
we're such suckers, guys.
It's so good.
What's your favorite music video from the last 9 years? The one from, like, 2013, 2014?
Yeah. It's just it's so good.
I liked all of their outfits from the choreo section. I mean, they were all black, so, but, I really liked, like, the cutouts and the styles of what they were wearing. I really liked that. Some of my favorite music video looks ever, and yes, I'm aware that a lot of you are going to be upset with me for saying that. That is basically us just
Being brutally honest about
yeah, pretty
this.
much. Again, guys, I'm pretty sure I was super blunt. You guys might not have heard all of it because we are going, like, very close on 2 hours now, so I'm sure I
Yeah.
cut out the worst parts of it, but I have a feeling some of it probably made it in.
I
Um,
mean, I could also, like, equally say just as much good things as I said about bad things for these videos, but I tend just to focus more on the negatives to kind of justify its placing.
yeah, I was gonna say because we were ranking them and we were moving bottom to top, I focused more on the negative than the positive in them because in my head, it felt like I was justifying why it was at the bottom.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, giving a thoughtful, pro and con, critique of the music video itself. So, the negative things we said doesn't necessarily mean that we hate those music videos entirely. There are positive things in all of them, but when you're trying to justify why something isn't number 1, you just tend to focus a little bit more on the negative.
Yeah.
Again, this is our opinion, guys. This is our personal ranking. We are not ranking like which music video is the best they've ever done or anything like that. This is not us objectively ranking them. These are just our opinions. And like always, we ask you to be respectful of ours and of the other people in the comment section. But yes, so that is our music video ranking. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let us know your thoughts and your ranking down below. And again, as always, we just want to say thank you for everyone who listens and comments. We really do appreciate it. This is really fun for us, and it's nice to be able to have other people who are enjoying it with us. So, thank you again for all of your support, and we'll see you next week for a new episode.